You're still awake. What's that? Oh, you want another ghost story? Lord Castlemaine, you say? I can tell you a little bit about Lord Castlemaine. So a young French nobleman by the name of Frederick Castlemaine came around to court the lovely Dora Southerland, but ended up marrying 40-something Isabella, who was more than 10 years his senior. According to the Yankee article, this dashing rogue had a few eccentricities of his own, like addictions to opium and morphine, and the unnerving hobby of shooting the spokes out of wagon wheels from a seat on the Southerland's front porch. Impressive though his marksmanship may have been, local farmers were unhappy with his practice, so he salved their indignation with handsome payments. But then in 1897, while accompanying the sisters on one of their tours to New York City, Castlemaine committed suicide. He actually overdosed on morphine, which he commonly did, but this time the Southerlands were unable to revive him. The body was sent back to Cambria in a special funeral car on the Erie Railroad. Isabella and Dora were on the same train in their own car with the New York City undertaker. A hearse and carriages from Prudent Funeral Home met him at the train station and carried them all to the mansion. Just after 2 p.m. on March 30th, hundreds gathered inside and outside the mansion to pay their respects. The ribbon-draped, hermetically sealed casket was built of solid mahogany and weighed a reported 1,400 pounds. It had been ordered and built to Isabella's exact specifications. What could be described as tight and tense, the close-eyed face of Lord Castlemaine could clearly be seen through the glass top. Strewn with smilax and lilies of the valley, the hand-carved casket, with heavy silver moldings and an all-silk interior, was set in the flowered and decorated music room, and a grand ceremony was carried out with the Warren's Corners choirs in attendance. There was no procession to the cemetery afterward, though. Lord Castlemaine's final resting place would not be found until 7 months later. Isabella had made different plans for her love, whom, she believed, remained in a mysterious dream state and could wake at any moment. Isabella was joined at the mansion by Sarah and Grace and Dora in the next 3 weeks, in singing and talking to the body of Lord Castlemaine. Visiting neighbors who offered homemade foods, cards, and gifts to Isabella and the mourning family were offended by the stench emanating from the music room and shocked that the body had not yet been buried. Eventually, the sheriff visited, and the Southerlands were ordered to bury Lord Castlemaine at once. It is said they buried him in the backyard before visiting Glenwood Cemetery and commissioning a staggering $10,000 granite and Italian marble mausoleum. Lord Castlemaine was then interred in the vault of the cemetery until his mausoleum was finished. Isabella visited Lord Castlemaine every day for 2 years after his interment, and was often met with onlookers who came to watch as she unlocked the massive granite doors with a 1-foot-long brass key. They say she can still be seen from day to day, visiting Lord Castlemaine and singing over his body, because, of course, one day he will wake up. So how's that for a ghost story? Happy Halloween!